I was born and bred in Dulan, where we're at right now. Dulan is a small village in the southeast of Taiwan. Used to be called Formosa, and of course, a lot of people know that as a Republic of China after the Civil War. And a lot of people don't even know us. People misrecognize me as the person from Thailand. People are saying I'm from China, but here I am in Taiwan, my hometown. And I studied here since I was little, and then moved to the city about 18 years old. And then from there, I studied more from the university. And then for a chance, I actually moved to Africa for the past 20 years. And while I'm traveling and living there, I was touched by the nature. I cannot describe what happened there. You have to actually be there to feel the movement of the earth or the vibrant culture of everything. And combined with my experience here in my background, where my father is from China and my mother is the indigenous tribe called Amis. But I was growing up surrounded by my Taiwanese friends and speaking 3 languages in the same time back home here, and unrecognized by none of them, or recognized by all of them sometimes. I was bullied because I'm not pure blood. That is actually quite interesting. I have a lot of interesting story about that. But then I moved to Africa, especially South Africa. It's a rainbow country where you see different species, people speaking different colors. Even so-called black people have different kind of skins. And then with their histories of apartheid, I realized what happened in my hometown was not just a myth. The indigenous people here are mistreated, and they didn't even realize that. I myself only realized that once I moved to South Africa, seeing what's happening there and be told what really happened there by the true locals. Here in Taiwan, we are a democracy. It's a democratic country, of course. There are freedoms that we can speak freely, and people can own things privately, and you can cooperate with other people. There are many commercials and activities happening here as a community, but somehow on the different race perspective, you can see obviously there are different treatments among the races. And I'm not really the person of politics, and I don't even belong to any politics parties, and I don't even have a religion. And I believe that we are one. I believe there are spirits everywhere, and I do believe that we are here for a reason. And I believe that we can all make a difference if we can think globally but act locally. I think that's the most important thing, and that's why I'm back here right now. So I'm using my experience to do some community work, such as starting a flea market monthly, and also now promoting a sustainable community act to get the whole community involved into a different way of living. So not necessarily buying brand new products, not necessarily accepting whatever people giving you. You should be able to turn yourself or your household or your community to a self-efficient existence. That's what I believe. And also promoting symbiotic relationship with the nature. And that's how the indigenous people are still living. But without knowing, we are having a relationship closely with the nature, which we also, on the other hand, are destroying it. by overconsumption, by overproduction, by exploitation. We are doing it with or without knowing it. Awareness is another thing. So I'm trying my best to also not only to promote this cause, also to giving English lessons to the local kids, because education is a key. If they are limited to only single local language, although of course a lot of people will say that Mandarin, so-called Chinese, is a major international languages, but however, the one biggest country who's using it is China, and there the information are limited. So therefore, if you are learning anything through Chinese or Mandarin, you are limited from the very beginning. That's why you have to learn a second international language, which I think English would be perfect. So that's also my second mission here, and I'm teaching English here to the local kids. And then thirdly is to help people understand from different point of view. How should I put this in
Are you
words?
optimistic about the future?
Well, I'm a typical Gemini. I am optimistic, but in the same time, I'm clearly aware that that's why I want to promote the idea. I want to have more people knowing and support the cause, with or without awareness. Actually, once this acts become a habit, like they used to have this platform, this community platform to exchange the goods that they now no longer need, they will get used to your habits, and then therefore you will create a way of lifestyle with or without knowing. It's like you used to buy a cup of coffee in the morning. You don't even know why you're buying a cup of coffee in the morning, right? But day after day, week after week, year after year, it becomes part of your life. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Once they're used to it, then that will be there.
How are people responding to your ideas? I mean, you must have some successes and some failures, you know.
Well, of course, it was very, very difficult in the beginning. It was really tough situation because people are so used to the convenience lifestyle and everything's fast food. They don't want to use what people already used. I even have comments like, I'm not wearing dead people's clothes. I mean, flip market, trash shop. Those are the common ideas in other countries in the Western world already, but in Taiwan, no, not really. People doesn't like to use used good. So it was very difficult in the beginning, but I think we're doing pretty well so far. People are responding and they realize that they can make a profit too by the things that they are not using. I believe the key is to create a common ground, whether it's profit, whether it's just a fun Saturday, whether it's just a get together once a month things. If we find that common ground, people will respond.
What do you want any viewer of this video? What information or what do you want to tell them about Taiwan? What should they know about Taiwan and Taiwanese and even Aboriginal people? What's the message you'd like to get out there about your people?
Okay. Well, like I said, that my father is from China and my mother's is Aboriginal tribes called Amis. And Taiwan was ruled by Japan, so my grandmother doesn't even speak Chinese. She speaks Japanese. And growing up, I was surrounding with my Taiwanese students, friends, which we are not allowed to speak Taiwanese at school. So I'm speaking Chinese, but I'm not allowed to speak Taiwanese, although I'm from Taiwan. I'm half Amis. I'm also not allowed to use a language at school in Taiwan. But however, with all those political challenges, or I should say strategies, their education system changed over the time. Now, the local government's promoting the indigenous cultures and languages, and therefore you can see more different kind of cultures happening. It's blossoming now. And if you want to ask me what I would like people to see or know about Taiwan, they should all know that Taiwan is an independent country already. They should know that Taiwan is a country with different cultures, with vibrant atmospheres and people. We are all different. We are all different, but yet we are the same. Some of them have blood from China, like myself. Some of them have blood from the real local people, like the indigenous Amis, Lukai, or other tribes. But some people call themselves Taiwan, which their ancestors actually immigrants from other countries, but then they call themselves Taiwanese. Combined with my experience in Africa, where we have 11 official languages, and I was surrounded by all different people from different countries. A lot of my good friends are from Zimbabwe, which was in trouble. Well, they are still in trouble now, but combined with all that, Taiwan is a very lucky existence. We are very lucky with the war, with earthquakes. Doesn't matter if it's natural disasters or human caused events, we are still here and we are growing strong. It's because the people here, they have strong belief. Doesn't matter what they believe in themselves. That's why we have different culture. Yesterday, we were talking about religions. I told you there are Taoism, there are Buddhism, there are Christians. There are actually quite a lot of different religions. But people believe in something, and that supports their own act. As long as we can all act together, doesn't matter what your religions are, doesn't matter what your political beliefs are, your whatever leaders, your community, and doesn't really matter. We must all believe in ourselves and do the right things. And now the question is, what is the right thing? And that's why my reason of coming back here. I believe the right thing is to coexist with the nature. Doesn't matter what you do. You can still run your business. You can still be a vendor, buy and sell. You can still be a good parent, provide everything for your family. You can still be a traveler. You can still be a student, a teacher, or anyone. You can still lead a political parties or lead a protest against the government. Doesn't matter. But we must respect nature and know that nature is the reason why we're here.
You gotta start that sentence over again.
Nature, Mother Nature is the reason why we're all here. Yeah, they just
motorcycles. Just hold on a second. Till they shoot by. Okay, okay. Take that thought back and go ahead.
All right. The only reason that we are all here is because nature. Nature is our common ground. We must protect it. Doesn't matter what we do. That's the only reason we're here, to protect and live with it.
Do you think if you entered politics, you might have more influence on people, or what happens when people become politicians? They get sort of infected,
I was very much into politics when I was much younger, and before I moved to the city, Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. My father, who's actually barely speaking to me directly, only asked me one thing. He asked me to promise him that I'll never ever get involved with politicians. He doesn't believe that governments or organizations in that size, or even an international organization, will be able to make a change without the connection with the locals. It's my father who told me that he believed there's a God, but he cannot tell me his name. So I must always be open-minded. And it's my father told me that I must travel You do not stay in one place and think that you know everything. You only know it once you breathe the air there. I was a child, was just a kid, but my father gave me all those wise advices to make me who I am right now. And I'm still learning it. Like we talked about that yesterday. You took my line. I do believe that the more I learn, the less I know. And I'm humble enough to survive so many deadly attacks while I'm living in South Africa. I was in gunpoint, knife points, everything you can name it. I was burgled so many times. I lost everything, and I started again and again and again. And I always lost it to the cancer, but luckily I survived. And all those events are just a part of journey of life to me. And now I'm back here. I know exactly what I want. I want to educate the kids to help them to have more international point of view, be able to learn a second international language with their barely no resources. And I want to promote the sustainable lifestyle by creating events using the common grounds people already are doing. And hopefully one day it will become a habit. And I want to let people know, no, I shouldn't use that word. I want to be myself, I should say this. I want to be myself and do things I think it's worth doing. Time is the only thing that matters, and time must be well spent. And I want to spend it by doing things for the nature. If people don't do anything for the nature and just speak behind the computer screen or on internet or on the unnecessary conferences, all those words will fail in vain and nothing will really happen. That's why if someone or something can make a change, it has to happen locally. It has to start from the local. But unfortunately, with all those governing systems right now, they are not allowed the locals to do so. So people like me, we might be the one who will be oppressed or targeted as the, how shall I say this? No, I'm lucky I'm not living in China. If I'm in China, I'm sure I will be able to speak to you like this right now. But we're in Taiwan, but who knows what will happen. But like I said, I need to be myself. My life basically already gone when I was on the table before I go into the operational room. But now I'm here. So from ever since then, I only do things I enjoy, and I found what I need to do. I found a niche where in this little town or my hometown, where it changed to a completely different place than 20 years ago. I see what needs to be done, and so I'm doing it with or without any resources. I believe things can still be done.